The final shape is here, and the meta has been shaken up quite a bit. So, what weapons are the best right now? Well, let's start with the top primary weapons. The Kvastov, which is no secret, is first up. Pair this with your speaker sight helmet, and you're basically cheating. Next up, we have several high impact pulses: the Messenger, the Red Death, and the Elsie's rifle. These all hit for a 0.67 TTK, making them extremely lethal. My preference of the three is Elsie's rifle with Zen Moment and Head Seeker, but really whichever you are most comfortable with and most capable of getting that 2 burst kill with the 0.67 TTK, that is what you're going to be wanting to run. That is sort of the bread and butter with these, is whatever you can use to get that 2 burst the most consistently is going to be the one that you want to go with. Okay, hand cannons are also pretty viable right now in general. We have several that I think are usable. Igneous Hammer being the best in my opinion with Precision Instrument. If you don't have Precision Instrument, I would probably recommend running a different hand cannon such as a Luna's Howl in the energy slot. If you want a kinetic slot, there are several options. Any of the exotics such as Thorn, Hawkmoon, Ace of Spades, all are excellent top tier perks. I feel the Hawkmoon in particular really helps to counter the current like speaker sight healing meta, as you can sort of stack up the bullets and then one-shot them. I've heard Thorn can do this effectively as well, something to do with the overload mod, and the burn can kind of affect the poison, but I still need to do more testing on that as of right now. If you want a legendary option, I'd go with Slide Shot Rose or a Zen Moment Austringer, both of which are very, very good hand cannons and can definitely compete in the current meta. For more in-depth thoughts on hand cannons, check out my tier list that I recently put out if you want to see why I sort of recommend those in particular. Next up is going to be sort of more close range primaries. There are several sidearm options such as the Rat King or the Cryosthesia in the kinetic slot. I think these are both very good picks for chaining kills together. Rat King going invisible and healing, and then Cryosthesia chaining that freeze. Both are pretty slept on in my opinion. The energy slot though has a couple legendary options I think are worth mentioning. Mostly the Drang and the Heliocentric are both very, very good, especially if you play on a controller. I will say I think sidearms are more of a controller thing. I do know like you can use them on M&K, but I think they really shine on a controller. For SMGs, I really only have one recommendation. That is going to be the Shayura's Wrath. This has a new perk pool, including some like pretty crazy additions such as Zen Moment or Keep Away. I have this pretty good roll here. I infused. You can sort of grab one of these from Saint, or you can wait until the Adept one is in rotation. It's probably going to be any week now, and you can just farm one of the Adept ones up. But yeah, you can enhance the normal one. So the one that I have here, I might just end up keeping because it's a pretty good roll. For scout rifles, I would probably say DMT would be my main recommendation, only if you're on M&K though. I would not really use this on a controller. I feel that it is much more difficult on a controller, and it's sort of one of those guns that you want to use on mouse and keyboard only, in my opinion. Okay, I think those are the top primary weapons that are like the most meta right now, the strongest in the slot there. For special weapons though, we have several options. First, shotguns I think are the most viable because of the current ammo situation, at least in trials. Shotguns, you have Chaperone and Conditional Finality. I feel these are the best by far, sort of in their own tier. And then everything else is kind of beneath them a good amount. Next up to them though, I would say the Matador or the new craftable Someday Shoddy in the kinetic slot. Basically, whichever slot you need, that would be the next best shotgun. If you need a kinetic shotgun, use the Someday. If you need an energy shotgun, use the Matador. For both of those, you'll want opening shot and threat detector. That's the roll on both of them. And then you want to build into handling and range on the barrels and mag and all that. Snipers are decent as always. They are hurting a bit for ammo right now, so at least at the time of recording, the Still Hunt, the golden gun sniper, is currently the best by far for all snipers until it gets patched. It's currently the best because it gets 3 bullets instead of 1 for some reason, so that just makes it god tier. Kind of a weird reason, but I mean, hey, it is what it is. If you're gonna snipe right now, at least at the time of recording, you want to use the still hunt. You get 3 times the ammo. If they nerf that though, or fix it, you're not really going to want to do that unless you just really like the sniper. It is a good sniper, but once it's fixed, I would recommend a 90 RPM sniper like the Beloved, the Mercurial Overreach from Comp, or even the Defiance of Yasmin. Those are all very solid. Anything that you can consistently hit shots with, I will say I do think that the 90 RPMs are the best by a pretty good margin. So if you're trying to get used to one, I'd probably look into getting one of those. And then finally, fusions, I feel, are probably the last special weapon that are viable right now, but they are hurting for ammo. The current ammo system does hurt fusions like it does snipers quite a bit. And I don't use fusions as much and I don't see them as much, but I will say I think rapid fire frames used to be the best, like your Cartesian coordinates, but I think with the health changes and everything, I feel that most fusion mains are kind of leaning towards the adaptive frames. So like your Techian Force from the Last Wish raid, I kind of think that that's the best one. My mind could be changed on this, so if you have a fusion rifle that you think is a lot better, let me know. But I will say I have some pretty good sources and they tell me that that one is the one, and it's my favorite one as well. So yeah, definitely let me know which fusion you prefer, but that's what I've been seeing so far. As far as heavies go, I mean, you can use whatever. I think the best are still grenade launchers with impulse amplifier, so your Cataphract, your Wendigo, things like that. But you want that impulse amplifier, and then you don't want to have the proximity. You used to want to have proximity, but you don't want that anymore. That makes it so they don't really kill. But if you're accurate enough with it, it's still one shot's fine. So yeah, definitely grenade launchers. I've seen some linears as well. I feel grenade launchers are just more consistent and like a safer 2 to 3 picks. So yeah, I'd recommend grenade launchers. Okay, and that's sort of just my quick rundown of what is meta right now. Everyone, I actually had a lot of comments just in the last week or so, people asking me like, hey, I haven't played in a while, what's good right now? So yeah, in my opinion, those are all the top weapons. There's obviously a lot more guns than that, lots more good weapons, some I didn't mention. So if there's some that you really like, let us know in the comments so people can see it. This is really just sort of for people coming back to the Crucible. They can see what's good. Not everyone can keep up with the game as much as all of us, so totally understandable. So yeah, let us know, drop what you've been running in the comments. But as always, I am awake and I'll see you guys next time.